As far as the question of rock and roll and wrestling, there's a lot of similarities. In rock, you have to sort of prove yourself as an independent on the market. You have to say that what your band offers is different and will attract people. It's very similar in wrestling, and so I think I understand that. So that helps me to work with the wrestlers because they're trying to maximize their value on the market, while at the same time they're trying to build their name in the world.
No, just put him over.
Perfect.
I love my husband. He's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Owner of the National Wrestling Alliance and Smashing Pumpkins frontman Billy Corgan has been a wrestling fan since childhood.
Well, when I was a kid in Chicago in the 70s, I grew up watching a great era of wrestling, but I never went to the matches. So all my interactions as a kid was watching it on television.
Condescending enough? Like, just a little bit?
That's how you got there. When I was in my late 20s, I found myself in a position where I could go to shows. I went to WWE shows, and I found myself sort of attracted to the behind the scenes. So lo and behold, here I am all these years later owning a wrestling company.
Over the years, the NWA has become synonymous with the old school style of wrestling, a tradition Corgan embraces.
I like to say that the old school is the new school. I think that wrestling has bifurcated in many different styles, which is totally fine, and it's supported by the market. But I do believe wrestling at its best is with the traditional style. The world I grew up in, Grandma watched wrestling and the little kids watched wrestling. So what does that tell you? It was for everybody.
The NWA pay-per-view, Alwayz Ready, was held at the Knoxville Convention Center on June 11th. The event was named after the catchphrase of the then NWA World Champion, Matt Cardona.
Matt Cardona is very interesting. He comes out of the WWE system. He was very successful there, but no matter what he did, he'd always seem to be kind of pushed aside. So now he's gone into the independent market, and he's made a different name for himself, and literally and figuratively. But he's also shown that the power of his personal brand can also lift up something like the NWA.
Yeah, this is a huge deal. I'm on the poster. I'm the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. This is a dream come true. It's something I don't take for granted. And, I'm going to spill my guts to the people in there. So hopefully, hopefully they realize I am here to save the NWA. It's not just about me and the Cardona family. It is about saving the NWA and continuing that legacy.
I am the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
Ric Flair, Harley Race, Matt Cardona, right? It's crazy. A title that I would read in wrestling magazines about. Now I have it. It's the same style title. They didn't change it. Nick Aldis put the UK plate on it because he's an egomaniac. I would never do something like that. I would never put a New York plate on there. But it's cool, it's special, and I'm doing all these conventions and autograph signings, and so many fans, they come up to me and they just want to hold the 10 pounds of gold. So it's very, very special.
This show, this pay-per-view, Alwayz Ready, it's named after me. This is my damn pay-per-view. I earned it.
Having a wrestling pay-per-view named after him put Cardona in rare company. But in the days leading up to Alwayz Ready, he suffered an injury that would keep him out of action on his own show.
This is supposed to be a very special memory. My first pay-per-view named after me. Not many wrestlers can say that. Shawn Michaels had D-Generation X, The Rock Bottom, now me, Alwayz Ready, but torn biceps. So, it is what it is.
Cardona's opponent at Alwayz Ready was set to be former NWA champion Nick Aldis, a man who has taken offense to the way Matt Cardona has structured his career.
I have a little bit of news to share with everyone. You're not the only one nursing an injury. You see, my back's been killing me for carrying this entire promotion on it for the last 5 years.
There's been some tension behind the scenes of the NWA because people don't understand that Matt Cardona really represents the future of professional wrestling, where it'll be incumbent on the wrestlers on their own to get themselves over. And then they bring that brand value into a company like the NWA, where in the past it would have been up to the NWA to get a Matt Cardona over. And then that would be the way it would work. So Matt brings huge social media following, huge buzz into the company. And so in that way, we're working together. But there are other people in the company who don't agree. Nick Aldis is a traditionalist. He doesn't like the way Matt Cardona does business. Literally, I'm not saying this is just a storyline. He doesn't like the way he does business. he believes that it should go through the wrestling company, and that Matt's running around the world making a name for himself. It's very interesting tension, both behind the scenes and in front of the camera.
262 pounds, from Knoxville, Tennessee, this is Big Strong Mims!
My name is Matthew Mims, or as I'm known here in the NWA, either Mims or Big Strong Mims if you're nasty.
Clarksville, Tennessee native Big Strong Mims made his Knoxville wrestling debut at Alwayz Ready. His nickname came to him one night early into his career.
We had one of those student shows that you have for, young graduates and everything like that. And it was as a joke. I said during the middle of a match, I said, I'm big, strong boy. So then I tried to bring that here to the NWA. And obviously, I'm not a boy. I'm not the biggest guy around, but I'm not too small. So why sell myself as a boy? I'm a big, strong man. Big, strong man, it doesn't roll off the tongue. But Big, Strong Mims? Now that's name recognition. That's name brand. That's something I can put on a t-shirt. And I did.
Mims worked his way up in the ranks and challenged for the NWA World Television Championship at the event.
I will be the champion of every single person's TV. So that means your TV, my TV, everybody else's TVs, whatever you watch TV on screens, I'd be the champion of that across the entire world. So every TV, yeah.
The only thing standing in his way of the championship was 6'7", 390-pound Tyrus.
I was always told that I should have been in a time machine, that I was born in the wrong era for wrestling. The NWA is a chance to go back in that time machine. And honestly, man, I'm having the time of my life.
Prior to Alwayz Ready, Tyrus has racked up multiple defenses of his television championship, a title he holds dear.
The NWA World Television Heavyweight Championship was brought into fold by my mentor, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. My last day in the WWE, he started talking to me, not about wrestling, but it would be the talk you would get from your father when you're getting ready to step out in the world. He started talking about how important it was for me to paint my canvas. I don't feel like you're reaching your full potential in the situation that WWE has you in. And then of course the next day I was released or whatever. And it wasn't until I got into the NWA to where I was like, this is what he meant by painting my canvas. I can't look past Mims. He's kind of been a little thorn on my side. The brother, obviously he's envious a little bit. I respect that because I noticed I showed up, all of a sudden his gear changed. He now wears the singlet with the same colors and the same cut, and I was like, okay, I get it. It's cool. I get it. I wanted to be I wanted to be like Bundy and Big John Studd, but I didn't, steal their outfits. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm impressed with the respect or whatever. But it's just not his time yet. It's not his time yet. So, but I'm not making the mistake of, because if you look past a guy like Mims, I mess around and be beltless on pay-per-view. So the name of the pay-per-view is Alwayz Ready, and so I will be ready.
So any nerves going in? So you're nervous every time you walk out? Are they amplified tonight because you're going for the title?
No, not at all. No nerves at all. No. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Obviously, in a championship situation, and this is my very first championship situation to get into, of course I'm going to be nervous. You have to be. And then also, look at who I'm going against. Tyrus is the NWA's monster. He is the monster, he is the beast, he is the mad titan of the NWA. He's the biggest guy here by far, and that's no easy feat to do because we're a bunch of big, strong guys here. So to be the biggest, that means you are usually the scariest. But there's no fear in my heart about who I'm going against, even though I should. At the end of the day, monsters get beat, empires fall, all types of things like that. So who's going to be the guy to do it? Why sit around and wait for somebody else to do that when I can be that guy? I can be that hero. I can topple that great villain. And that's exactly what I plan on doing. So, the nervousness, it's going to fly out the window. Bravery is when you conquer fear. And I can't be brave unless I conquer the fears I may have.
Mims was unable to come away with the championship at Alwayz Ready. And with so many defenses under his belt, Tyrus is looking towards the future.
So I'm in line for 10 pounds of gold, and which it occurred to me, nobody has ever held both titles at the same time. Now, I know NW rules are that if you win, you have to surrender the television championship, but at least for one night, one TV for sure, there will be a unified television world heavyweight champion. And that, to me, I think will be the final paint on my canvas. And my shoulders are big enough to where I could probably, you know, fit another one right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we usually could be like, bam. So, you know, and then you have to interview me again.
Alwayz Ready was a sellout at the convention center. And for the fans, the event served to fuel their passion for the National Wrestling Alliance.
I've been a huge wrestling fan since I was a kid, and I mean, it's the wrestling. I've been watching them since Billy Corgan, purchased them and rebuilt it, and they've done some good things. I'm really excited to see the future of it.
Billy Corgan's kept with the traditional title, the old school theme on like the ring apron and so forth, and that draws in a person like me that grew up watching it in the Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes days with that title. So I think that appeal draws it in. And of course, you've got new talent too. So that's always exciting when you have new talent with that old school feel. Right now, great storytelling going on. Matt Cardona is doing a great job with that, carrying the lead. I feel like it really took the next step. If you want to see the next big talents, I would go to NWA.
Some people think I'm crazy when I say this, but I think that the NWA will be up there with the biggest companies in the world. First of all, you have the history that the NWA was the preeminent wrestling body, so you're always going to carry that history forward, and it's an easy story to tell. But also, I believe that this traditional form of wrestling, what we call old school wrestling, it will work, and it will work for markets that have never been exposed to wrestling at the highest levels. Nobody can really hold us back. We run our programs the way we want. And I think what you see, very similar to rock and roll, when we came around in the 90s, we offered a different type of rock and roll that a lot of people said couldn't be successful, and we became super successful. I think it's the same way with wrestling. You're seeing different forms of wrestling stepping to the fore, past the traditional gatekeepers, and you see where fans are responding to.